Once upon a time, there was an old owl who lived in an oak tree. Every day he observed incidents that occurred around him. Yesterday, he watched as a young boy helped an old man carry a heavy basket. Today, he saw a young girl shouting at her mother. The more he saw, the less he spoke. As the days went on, he spoke less, but heard more. The old owl heard people talking and telling stories. He heard a woman saying an elephant jumped over a fence. He heard a man saying that he had never made a mistake. The old owl had seen and heard what happened to people. There were some who became better, some who became worse. But the old owl in the tree had become wiser each and every day. Moral of the story: be more observant, talk less and listen more. This will make us wise.
Once there lived a camel and a jackal. They were good friends. They lived near a river. One day the jackal came to know that there was a field of ripe melons across the river. His mouth watered, but he could not cross the river. He went to Camel and told him about the melons. The camel was also tempted to eat melons. He carried the jackal on his back and crossed the river. Both of them reached the field. They started eating the melons. The jackal started howling loudly. The owner of the field came running and started beating the camel. When the owner went away, the camel asked the jackal why he had howled. The jackal replied, "It is my habit to howl after a heavy meal." Both of them returned to the river. The jackal jumped on the back of the camel. When they were in the middle of the water, the camel began to roll in the water. The jackal said, "Why are you rolling in the water?" The camel replied, "It is my habit to roll in the water after a heavy meal." The jackal could hardly save himself. One day, two cranes stood by a lake. The lake was full of big fish. It was the breeding season, and a large number of fish had arrived to that part of the lake. The two cranes had seen a very big fish, and they wanted to catch it. For a long time, they watched its movements. Then, one of the cranes caught it by its head. But the fish was very heavy, and she could not pull it out of the water. She needed help. The other crane helped her. She caught hold of the fish by its tail, and both of them pulled it out. They decided to divide the fish among themselves. They were about to cut the fish when the first crane said, "I had caught the fish, therefore I should get a larger part of it." The other crane said, "No, I should get a larger part because I helped you to pull it out." Soon, both of them started quarreling. A jackal had been watching all this. Actually, he had also come to the lakeside to catch a fish. His wife had expressed a desire to eat fish. The jackal had been sitting on the bank of the lake and thinking of a plan to catch a fish. When he saw the cranes quarreling among themselves over a fish, he thought, "The foolish cranes are quarreling over their catch. If I go and net as their judge, I will be able to get hold of the big fish. My wife will be happy to see such a big fish." So he walked up to the cranes and said, "Dear cranes, I have been watching you quarrel over a fish. Can I help you in any way?" The crane said, "Please help us decide who should get the larger share." Then they explained to him how they had caught the fish together. The jackal pretended to be deep in thought. Then he said to the first crane, "You caught the fish by the head, so you should get the head." He cut away the head of the fish and gave it to the first crane. Then he turned to the second crane and said, "You caught the fish by its tail, therefore you should get the tail." He cut the tail of the fish and gave it to her. The two cranes, though, that the jackal would equally divide the body of the fish between them. "However," he said, "now I have acted as your judge. I want my fee. I am taking the body of the fee." So saying, he picked up the fish as my fish and ran away. He reached home and gave the fish to his wife. His wife prepared a tasty fish curry, and both of them enjoyed the curry together.
Once upon a time, a mouse and a frog were close friends. The frog often visited the mouse at his home, and they both shared the food and provisions the mouse had stocked in abundance. One day, the frog invited the mouse to his house. The poor mouse didn't know how to swim. The frog told him that he would make the mouse sit on his back. The mouse immediately agreed. Halfway across the steam, the frog started to get wicked thoughts of eating the mouse. So, the wicked frog dived for the bottom of the stream. The mouse, realizing too late the betrayal of the frog, started to cry for help. A hawk, flying above the stream, saw the scene and swooped down upon the mouse. The hawk picked him up with its beak and started to fly high into the sky. The frog tied to the mouse was also taken away. The frog realized his mistake. In his greed to get more food, he had not only his good friend, but also put his own life into danger.
In a deep, dense jungle, there lived a lion. He was known for his great power. Undoubtedly, he was strong and had mighty claws and teeth, but he had one big problem. He was terrified by the cocking of the rooster. "Can life be worth living if the creature as mighty as me get afraid of such a small creature like a rooster?" the lion cried bitterly. Just as he was in his sad stage, he spied an elephant. The elephant was huge and scary, and he was flapping his large ears quickly to and fro in the great concern. "What troubles you, my friend? Can anything have the power to harm a beast of your size, bulk, and strength?" "Oh yes, you will be shocked. Do you see that black, buzzing gnat? If he wishes to sting inside my ear, I will go mad in pain." The lion, after hearing the elephant, took a promise from himself. He decided not to let troubles come in his way. Also, the lion understood that even the strongest creatures have some weak points. He built up his self-confidence once again. After all, he had much to think of. He was the king of all the beasts. Moral of the story: at some point of time, everyone has his weak points. One should overcome his weakness and look forward to the best things in his life.
Upon a time, an old woman lived in a little hut in a village. She had a little red hen. The woman loved her hen very much. Every day, she would feed the hen with mixed corn and let her out in the courtyard. The hen would walk around, pecking at bugs and insects. Then she would lay an egg in the straw nest under the mango tree. She laid an egg every day. The old woman would sell the egg at the local market for a good price. One evening, the old woman thought, "If I feed the hen twice as much, she will lay 2 eggs every day. Then I will become rich." She fed the hen more and more corn every day. But the red hen only grew big and fat until one day she stopped laying eggs altogether. The old woman repented her miscalculations. Moral of the story: things don't always go as planned.
Once upon a time, there was a fly who liked to work and help others. On a festival day, a fly was flustering the floor with gum. While working, it forgot its name. "What is my name?" it wondered. It flew long and long without stopping, asking everyone around. Soon, he saw an old lady sitting under the tree. It stopped there and asked the old lady, "Do you know my name?" "I don't know your name. Ask my son," replied the old lady. So the fly flew to an old lady's son. "Do you know my name?" asked the fly. "I don't know your name. Ask the axe in my hand," he said. So the fly flew to the axe and asked, "Oh, axe of an old lady's son, do you know my name?" "I don't know your name. Ask the tree which I just cut down," said the tree. The fly flew to the tree. "Do you know my name?" asked the fly. "I don't know your name. Ask the birds sitting on my branches," replied the tree. The fly then flew to the birds who were sitting on the branches of the tree. The fly asked, "Do you know my name?" "We don't know your name. Ask the lake where we drink water," said the birds. The fly then flew to the lake and asked, "Oh, lake water, do you know my name?" "I don't know your name. Ask the fish that swim in me," the lake said. "Oh, fish swimming in the water, do you know my name?" asked the fly. "I don't know your name. Ask the little boy who tries to catch me," said the fish. He went to the boy and asked, "Oh, little boy who tries to catch fish, do you know my name?" "I don't know your name. Ask the horse that I ride," answered the boy. "Oh, dear horse, do you know my name?" asked the fly, who became tired. The horse replied, "No, I don't remember your name. Ask the baby horse that is inside my stomach." "Oh, baby horse, do you know my name?" asked the fly, who was feeling exhausted. The baby replied, "Your name is F, 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 F," replied the baby horse, and it got fumbled. On hearing him, the fly explains, "Oh, you said it right. My name is Fly." And the fly happily flew back home.
Once upon a time, a bear went out into the forest to find some honey. He had seen some bees flying around a tree and thought that there might be some honey in there. Sure enough, when he got to the tree, there was a hive full of honey. The bear was so excited that he ate as much honey as he could. After he was done, he went back to his cave and slept for the rest of the day. The next day, the bear went back to the same tree to get more honey, but when he got there, the hive was gone. All that was left was a sticky mess on the ground. The bear was so sad that he didn't get any more honey that day. But the next day, the bear found another hive, and this time he was prepared. He brought a pot with him and was able to get some honey without making such a mess. The bear was so happy that he had found more honey and was able to enjoy it for days to come. Once upon a time, there was a rabbit. It was roaming here and there. Suddenly, it found a big, round, and colorful ball. The rabbit picked it up and looked at it carefully. It was a very hard tool. "Whose egg is this?" the rabbit wondered. The rabbit called his dear friend Tortoise. "Is this a tiger's egg?" he asked. The tortoise said, "No, the tiger egg is not so big. This is not the tortoise egg." The rabbit called his friend Monkey and asked, "Is this a camel's egg?" The monkey said, "No, it is not camel's egg, as the egg of the camel is not colorful." By now, the rabbit was confused as to whose egg could it be. He decided to call another friend of his, the stork. "Is this an elephant's egg?" the rabbit asked him. The stork placed the ball near him and poked it with its beak. The ball burst with a fizz sound, and the air started coming out of it. The stork finally concluded that it was a wind's egg. "Yes, it's a wind's egg," agreed the rabbit, the tortoise, and the monkey. They all laughed out with joy and jumped happily.
Long ago in a forest, there lived a lion. He was the king of the jungle. Now, his prime minister, the jackal, was getting old, and the time had come for him to choose a new prime minister. The next day, the lion set out for the test. Once he had found an axe of the woodcutter in the jungle. He placed the axe in the center of the path and hid into the bushes. The lion was quietly waiting for the other animals to pass by that way. Soon, a monkey passed by, and he was very excited to see such a shiny thing. He thought that it was some kind of new toy. He grabbed it and threw the axe in the air like a ball. In no time, he cut his tail with the axe. The monkey cried out in pain and ran back to the mango tree. The lion was very disappointed with the monkey. Next, a fox happened to pass by. As you know, Fox is an intelligent yet cunning animal. She wanted to use it for her own benefit. "Ah, what luck! If I take this, I will be all-powerful. I will take this axe and kill all the farmers in the village. Then all their chickens will be fine," thought the fox to herself. The lion heard her evil plan and pounced on her. The scared fox ran away at once. Then an ox was walking through the path. The ox smelled the dangerous-looking thing, and he immediately got an idea. He quickly took the axe in his mouth and cut down all the branches which were blocking the road, as it was difficult for the anyams to pass by that route. The lion was observing everything, and he was amazed at the ox's work. He realized that the monkey did not know how to use an axe. The fox wanted to use it for evil means. Only the ox used it for the benefit of everyone. He then thanked the ox for clearing the road and offered him to become his prime minister. The ox accepted the offer happily. Moral of the story: a leader must use his power to help everyone. Or, you should know how to use things before using them. It might have bad consequences. Long ago in a forest, once upon a time in a forest lived a bear. This bear was a greedy one. Wherever he went, he wanted the biggest thing. One day, When the bear woke up in the afternoon, his stomach groaned loudly. "Oh dear, I am extremely hungry." So he decided to go out in search of food. That day, the sun was shining brightly, and everything looked beautiful. "Oh, such a pretty day today is," exclaimed the bear. "Then I shall have fish to enjoy this day," the bear thought cheerfully. So he hurried to the riverbed. Upon looking into the river, the bear became happy. "There are so many fishes. I shall eat a lot too today." The bear prepared to hunt. Looking at the fish intently, he waited for his chance. Upon finding the most opportune moment, the bear struck in one swift motion. "I caught it!" he roared. But when he looked at it, he wasn't that happy. "What? This fish is too small. It won't fill my stomach. I will wait for a bigger fish." So the bear threw the small fish back into the water. The bear again began hunting again. He waited for his chance. After waiting for a while, he found his chance and he swung his large arm. He caught another fish. "Oh no!" he cried. "Even this is too small for my stomach. I will wait for the bigger fish." So the bear repeated the same act again and again. Time and time again, the bear caught the small fish, and time again, the bear the fish go, always saying the same thing. "I want to eat a bigger fish. This small fish won't fill my huge stomach." In the end, the bear had nothing to eat because he had thrown every fish back into the river. Moral of the story: many small things make up for one big thing. Never let go of what you have in hand for what you don't have yet.